Hey guys, and hey guys, hey guys, today it's day one of learning Python. Hey guys, today it's day one of learning Python for me, and I've learned a lot of things, but as you can see in this screen, it was the day one of learning Python. So, hey guys, good night, देर ना कराना यार. Hey guys, and welcome. It's Tahir. Hey guys, hey guys, and welcome. And it's day one of me learning Python. And today I have learned not a lot of things, but I'm gonna share what I have learned. As you can see in the screen, I have just made one project. I'm gonna describe this project very soon. So what I learned today is about the Python variables, how you can use the Python variables, how you can store it, how you can store anything in the Python variable. And I got to learn about the what we say about this string concatenation. That's all I learned in the day one. So I just made one project right here. You can see this project name is band name generator. So basically what it's doing over here is I just made one variable which is known as city, and I asked for an input. Okay, I'm gonna just do it again. Okay, the first thing that I'm gonna do is print something. I'm gonna print a welcome message to the user so that when the users come, they get the welcome message. I'm gonna say welcome user yo-yo. I'm gonna just say yo-yo. And another thing that I learned is to make a variable. So first I'm gonna to make a variable named city. And what I mean is once I make this variable named city, I'm gonna ask the user to input their what we say the city name input. I just made the input function. Then I'm gonna ask the user enter your city name. I just asked the user for the city name. And once I did that, then I will ask the user about the pet, because what I'm going to do is that uh, ask the user the city and pet name, and with the help of the city and pet, I'm gonna give them a new name, which is going to be a band name for them, or we say okay, we can say the what we say the combination of city and pet, so that they can use that name into their band. Okay, it's just a simple program. And I'm gonna ask the user again using the input function. Okay, we got some error over here. I don't think it's error. Yeah, it's not that. It's not an error. And since I'm gonna ask the user enter your pet name. So easy. Enter your pet name. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna print something. I'm gonna print what? Now this is really interesting. The first thing that I'm gonna print here is your your new band name, new, new band name, H, then a semicolon. Then I'm gonna use the concatenation function. So in the concatenation function, I'm gonna use the plus sign. Then I'm gonna then I'm gonna give a space. Then I'm gonna give a space, but the space I will give from here. I just give a space. And after using the plus sign, I'm gonna use the city variable. I'm again gonna use the plus sign. Then I'm gonna use the pet variable. And once I do this, it is ready. So once I run this program, what it will say is welcome user yo-yo, enter your city name. Then it will ask the user enter your city name. Then my city name is Gainakot. I'm from Nepal, but my city name is Gainakot. So I'm gonna write Gainakot, enter it, enter your pet name. And I don't have any pet, but I'm gonna use a good pet name which might be Parrot. Gainakot Parrot. So now it will print your new band name is Gainakot Parrot. Yes, and if you want space between the Gainakot and Parrot, if you want here space, then you will need to give here plus then a semicolon once again, and then gonna again give the plus sign. Then once I run it again, then I will again ask me for the city name. Then I'm gonna give Gainakot. Then I'm gonna enter your pet name. Then my pet name is going to be what's going to be my pet name, guys? What's going to be my pet name? Okay, this time I'm gonna write it down. So my pet name, my state name is Gainakot dog. Okay, yes. So this is how we do, and I'll be seeing you in the next video. Next time, till that time. माया का दुहेंचारी तुझमें के ठोरा something pura. I learned about the data types, numbers, operations, type conversions, and the assistants. Hey guys, and welcome to the day two of learning Python. And today, and in the day two, I didn't learn a lot of things, but I learned quite a few things that I'm gonna share with you. I learned about the data types. I learned about how many data types are there. I learned about the UFI strings, which was really useful. And I also learned about how can we convert the data types. And one another thing that I was learned is the operations and type conversion. Obviously, I just said that, and the numbers. So today we are just going to build a tip calculator project where the user is going to give the tip to the user. I'm just gonna say, let's say you ate something in a restaurant and the bill is $15,000 or $15, and you have three peoples and you wanna give tip to the waiter. So after giving a tip to the waiter, how each person will pay. So that's the project we are going to do. So the first thing that we're going to do is print. That we're going to do is print here and equal to the first thing. Welcome to tip calculator. We're going to give the user a greeting. Welcome to tip calculator. Okay, I just forgot to do one thing, just to give this double string. Here I get the double strings over here, and here I just did, and I just printed. The first thing, then I'm gonna make one variable called tip, then I'm gonna do the enter. Equal to, I just made one variable and I'm gonna ask the user something. How much tip do you want? How much tip do you do you want to give? I just made one variable. How much tip do you want to give? Okay. Then I'm just gonna go to the, okay, I think there's something problem. Oh, I just didn't give the input function here. I don't know why I'm being so oh, damn careless. I was trying to ask the user how much tip you wanna give, right? So I'm just gonna use the input function. I'm just a learning guy, so I will do this kind of basic mistakes. First of all, and here I did one again another mistake. I don't know what I'm doing. And here, okay, the things are good. The first is I ask the user how much tip you want to give. Then I'm gonna make one bill variable equal to. Then I'm gonna again give the input function, and I'm gonna ask how much is the total bill. How much is the total bill? Then I'm gonna use I've asked, and then how many people are there? Since how many people are there? How many people? Then I'm gonna ask the user input uh, how much people are going to split yes for split. Then I just did. Then I'm gonna make another variable total. Then I'm gonna use the equal to sign. Then I'm gonna do a basic calculation over here. The basic calculation is going to be tip plus bill divided by people, isn't it? Tip plus bill divided by PEOPL, people. And since I did this, there is one problem. I'm gonna use the parenthesis because so that I will be able to know that what I'm doing right now is a good thing. So I just did over here a divide sign. Isn't this a divide sign? Yes, it is. Why is showing the problem? Let's just class history does not define PEOPLE. So the operator cannot be used, does not define the few division. So the state operator cannot be used in instance 5. Okay, I just don't know what it means, but we are going to debug it, no problem. But first of all, let me close this terminal right out here. Uh, okay, fine. We will debug it after this. Then I'm going to do is the data field. Then I'm gonna print something. Then I'm going to print something. I'm not learning, guys, so we will debug it right over here. Okay. So I'm going to print something. What I'm going to print is each person, each person will split how much. So I just asked you people, I just told you people today I learned about the F string. So what basically the F string does is that before in the day one, if you haven't seen the day one, you need to see the day one. In the day one, what we did is we used the concatenation sign to attach the two different variables, right? But here it's kind of different. What I'm going to do is not use the concatenation sign but the F string so that it will be easy for me to do. And here I did one thing and it's still showing an error. That's fine. But once I'm gonna run it, so that I will find what's the error. I just run it, and how much tip do you want to give? I'm gonna give tip $12, 23 rupees, or 12.33 rupees. Then how much is the total bill? The total bill is 40 rupees. And how much people are going to split? 20. Okay, there are two people. Okay, there are actually 40 plus 23 is going to be 53. So I'm going to go with 3. And here it shows the error. What it's saying is that unsupported operand strings and string. Okay, guys, what I did over here is that strings cannot be divided by the strings. Okay, when I take the input from the user, this input function is taking the input as a string, not as an integer. But how many people are going to be there? 3 people. The output, the thing that I have just given over here, the input that I have given is 23, 40, and 3, which are integers, not a string. So yeah, I told you that I learned about the string data conversion. So I'm going to use int function and this, and I'm going to do with this. I use the int function. I just converted these things into the integer type. So yeah, I'm just gonna do this. Okay, I just converted this all of the 3 strings into the 3 strings variables into an integer. So if you don't know about this, then I will teach you. The first thing is that when you use the input function, the Python compiler will think that this thing as a string, and we can't do the mathematical operation in strings. That is common sense. So now just run it. Okay, over here, how much tip do you want to give? I'm going to give the 20 to 23 tip. Okay, and how much is the total bit? Is the 23 also. How much people are going to split is going to be 3 people. So each person will split 15.33334. So this was our project. Second project after day 2. I'll be seeing you the next day. Till that time, bye bye. Till the time, bye bye. And this is going one problem over here. Maya ka tui chari.
Left or right? Let's say I want to go left. You come to a lake, there's an island in the middle of the lake. Type wait to wait for a boat. Type swim to swim across. I'm going to wait for a boat. You arrive at the island unharmed. There's a house with 3 doors, 1 red, 1 yellow, and 1 blue. Which color do you choose? Let's choose red. And unfortunately, it's a room full of fire. Game over. So this game lets the user make decisions, and depending on what they've chosen, it continues the game storyline. If you want to have a go at this game, you can head over to this URL or simply click on the link in the course resources and have a play around with the game. And once you're ready, head over to the next lesson and we're going to start picking up the skills that's going to be required in order to... Welcome to
the day 3, I learned about the conditional statements, logical operators, code blocks, and scopes. It was really interesting.
To day 3. Today you're going to learn all about the total bill by adding the bill to the total tip. Here's a question. Have you ever sat in your bath and wondered, why is it that no matter how forgetful I am, my bath never overflows like this? This is something I was thinking about the other day. And I realized that it's not because I'm particularly diligent. I forget stuff all the time. I mean, pizza, anyone? It's what my pizzas usually look like. But the reason why our bathtub or the sink doesn't overflow is because of this fantastic piece of engineering, the overflow. So this means that whenever the water reaches beyond a certain level, about here, the water starts overflowing so that the bathtub doesn't overflow and annoy your neighbors downstairs. In fact, we could represent this mechanism with a conditional statement. When the water level is, say, greater than 80 centimeters, then it should drain.
Let me see. Let me see. Right answer. Your AI-powered companion called Lolly Python will be for the world's largest hackathon using Bold.io. Here, user can sign up or log in securely. It's super best of application. Let's get started. After logging in, users land on their dashboard showing their current progress on all chapters and total points on. Each chapter includes the interactive quizzes and AI support to ensure an effective learning experience. Here, user can test their knowledge with quizzes that unlocks the next chapter and update their score automatically. It's not live. Am I not live? Am I not live? Again, all while learning Python? No worry. We have introduced a feature called our Python Body, which is powered by Open Router AI, which provides the real-time answers to coding questions. If you have any questions related to Python, it could be tuples, dictionaries, file handling, any minimum to the advanced level question. There our AI can help you with that. Learning can be boring, and while learning, you may lose focus, but not in the case of Pydancer. To enhance focus, Pydancer includes advanced level question. There our AI can help you with that. Learning can be is print something. I'm gonna print a welcome message to the users so that when the users come, they get the welcome message. I'm gonna say welcome user yo-yo. I'm gonna just say yo-yo. And another thing that I learned is to make a variable. So first I'm gonna to make a variable named city. And once I make this variable named city, I'm gonna ask the user to input their what we say the city name input. Enter your pet name, then my pet name is good. So today we are just going to build a tip calculator project. Okay, the thing is there is one problem. I'm gonna use the lahan. Lahan costume, lahan. Oh iya, Mang. Tinggal aja. Gimana ya? Banyak kan banyak. Tinggal aja. Tinggal aja. 솔직히 때리고 해 두루라고.
Drain the water, but if the water level is not greater than 80 centimeters, it should continue filling up the tub. This type of conditional statement is known as an if-else statement. Depending on a particular condition, we would do either A or B. And when we want to write Python code to represent this, it looks something like this. There's the keyword if, and then the condition that we're testing for, and then a colon. And after the colon, we've got an indented block of code which should be executed if this condition is met, if it's true. But if it's not true, then we will skip to the else block, and it's just the else keyword with a colon. And then this code block would execute if the condition is false. So we could represent that previous bathtub situation with code that looks a bit like this. Let's say our water level is at 50 centimeters, and then we would test if the water level is greater than 80 centimeters. Well, if that is the case, then we should drain the water. But if it's not greater than 80 centimeters, in other words, else, well, in this case, we should just continue filling up the bathtub. Let's put this into practice with a real life problem. Now, let's say that we could represent that previous bathtub situation with code that looks a bit like this. Let's say our water level is at 50 centimeters, and then we would test if the water level is greater than 80 centimeters. Well, if that is the case, then we should drain the water. But if it's not greater than 80 centimeters, in other words, else, well, in this case, we should just continue filling up the bathtub. Let's put this into practice with a real life problem. Now, let's say that you've gotten a job at a theme park, and your first job of the day is to write some code that replaces the ticket box. Now, there's a couple of things that you'll need to think about. Firstly, in order for somebody to actually purchase a ticket to go on the roller coaster ride, they will need to be over 120 centimeters. So we have to check what their height is, because if they're too short, then we won't be able to sell them a ticket anyways. In the course resources, I've included a link to this flowchart that I've created on draw.io. This is they will need to be over 120 centimeters. So we say I want to go left. You come to a lake, there's an island in the middle of the lake, type energy function. So to compare the function, I'm going to use the plus sign. Massive to the hey guys, and welcome, and it's day one of me learning Python. Today I have done not the other things, but I want to show you what I have done. You can see that I have just a new one project. I want to describe this project this time. So what I learned today is about the Python variables. How you can use Python variables, how you can store it, and how you can store it in the Python variable. And then I go to learn about it, and this is about this animation. That's what I learned in Java. And the second one of the right you can see this was a thing which is so this is how it's doing with its access to variables guys, welcome back. I have today I have done lots of things, but I want to show you what I have done. You can see in the screen I just this is one thing I have this project this time. So what I learned today is about the Python first. You can use the Python variables and store it and store anything in the Python variable. And I got to learn about the about this thing, but that's what I have not in Java. So I'm just doing one project right here. You can see this is diploma, not it's hey guys, talking about Maya got sorry. I don't have anything to do. I don't have anything to do. I don't have baby.
Hey, hey guys, hey guys, and welcome and it's one of me learning by and today I have done not a lot of things, but I'm gonna show you what I have learned. You can see in this screen I have just made one project. I'm gonna start this project very soon. So what I learned today is about the Python variables. How you can use the Python variables, how you can store it, store anything in the Python variable, and I got to learn about the what we say about this string concatenation. That's all I learned in the day one. So I'm using what was exactly name generator. So basically what it's explaining over here is I just create one variable which is not understated and ask for an input. Okay, I'm gonna just do it again. Okay, the first thing that I'm gonna do is print something. I'm gonna print I have some message to the user so that when the users come, they will come message. I'm gonna say welcome user yo-yo. I'm gonna just take a yo-yo. And another thing that I learned is to make a variable. So first we have to make a variable name. Okay. And what I'm doing once I make this variable and string, I'm gonna ask the user to input their what is it? The citizen input I just made the input function. Then I'm gonna ask the user enter your city name. I just ask the user for the city. And once I get that, then I will ask the user about the tag. Because what I'm going to do is that uh, ask the user the city and tag name, and I'm going to have those city and tag. I'm going to give them a new name, which is going to be a tag name for we say, let's say the what we say, the combination of city and tag, so that we can use that name into the tag. Okay, it's a simple program. And I'm going to ask the user again using the input function. Okay, we got some error over here. I don't think it's Eden. Yeah, it's not. I was just not an error. And since over here, I'm gonna ask the then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna print something. I'm gonna print what? Now this is really interesting. The first thing that I'm gonna print here is your brand, your virtual brand, your then it's then a semicolon. Then I'm going to use the concatenation function. So in the concatenation function, I'm going to use a plus sign. Then I'm going to use, then I'm going to give a space. Then I'm going to give a space, but the space I will give from here as given space. And after having the plus sign, I'm going to use the second variable. And then I'm going to use the plus sign. Then I'm going to use the variable. And once I do this, I initially so once I run this program, what it will consume welcome user union. Enter your city name. And it will ask the user enter your city name. Now my city name is Kayapur, I found the call. But my city name is Kayapur, so I'm going to Kayapur, enter it. And I don't have a good, but I'm going to choose a good company, which might be very good. So now it will print your user and name image.